Thank you for listening. Before you start to go deeper into a relaxed state of mind, just check the way you sit or lay. Notice any discomfort and just use a few seconds to adjust your position until you feel more relaxed and comfortable before you continue to listen. That is good. You may have closed your eyes already, and while you do that, I will just let you know that even though this program is made for you who want to change something in your life, maybe getting less of something or more of other things, feelings, habits, thoughts, or even changing your beliefs about yourself or others, the past, the present, or the future. Whatever this might be, I want to let you know that changes happen all by themselves when you are ready to let go of that which is not you. Thoughts and feelings, beliefs and patterns or habits which are not you any longer will eventually evaporate all by themselves when you allow them to happen. This particular program is about preparing your subconscious for changes and to let your subconscious start to understand that nothing will be taken away from you. Nothing will happen without your consent. Even when you are in deep trance or just in a deep relaxation or dreaming, sleeping, you will still be able to choose for yourself. In a moment, I will count down together with you from 100 and down. But for now, in order for you to know that you may come back to yourself anytime you want, the self you are today, at this moment, I will ask you to make a register of who you are. If there were 100 things about yourself that you need to remember, on a deeper level at least, which ones will they be? You may start at 100, feeling your shoulders. How do they feel? Nothing to change. Noticing how they are right now. That is you. 99, the neck. Just at that point where the cranium is connected to the spine. You may want to move a little, as if small movements will relax the muscles in the neck. 98, your spine. 97, remember the feelings in your toes, and as that continues, you may notice your breathing, and maybe, just maybe, it may already have changed, since it's impossible not to change the breathing when you start to notice how you feel inside. In a moment, I will continue to count down from 96 and further down, and as I count, you will go deeper, and when I reach 90, your conscious mind will not even recognize the numbers. They are just like steps on a stairway, and as you reach the lower levels, you may even feel as if you are sleeping and even dreaming. From that point on, my voice will become lower and more subtle, since you do not need to hear exactly what is said. The subconscious will know, and that is enough for it to prepare itself for change. Be prepared for changes, for it is all about being prepared. 96, just noticing how one part is more relaxed than the other, until 95, it is so relaxed that you may even forget to remember why, or even know what that means, since you do not need to understand anything at all. Your inner self will understand the words that need understanding. 94. Even your breathing is different. 93. The words are slowly disappearing. 96. And if there are still thoughts coming and going, let them be, as you continue to focus on the inside of your body. How each part is what they are right now. You may even feel the pulse, the heartbeats, even the subtle pulse of your feet. And as this continues deep down, I will just remind you that from now on you may not hear the words, since the music is as important for you to listen to in order for you to really hear what is said. The only thing I will tell you is that it is important to be prepared, and the best way to be prepared is to be open for the unexpected. I don't know which way you will choose to open up, since we cannot change things by doing things in the same way as when we created attention. As you change the way you look at things, the things will change. And as you change the things you do, things will change. Some people try to open a sliding door by pulling or pushing it until it is broken. Look at things the way they are. Don't try to change them. Just by looking and understanding on a deeper level, something might change. Slide it open slowly. One day I will tell you the story about the two monks and a lady. You might have already heard it. However, we sometimes hear different things, as we do different things differently. And that is what this story is all about. Have you heard the story about a Chinese professor? You might have heard it and even thought about how the story might be significant for you, or not. I might later on, sometime in the future, when you are ready to go to a deeper level, to the next level, tell this to your conscious mind as well, since it may be of importance. There are certain issues that need to be in place when you want to achieve your goals and become the best version of yourself and live the life you want to live. However, for now, it is enough to let the subconscious mind taste, smell, and maybe even feel this story on a deeper level. Places where your everyday conscious mind can never go. This story appears in so many forms, and its original source is unknown. And really, who knows why it was first told, and even the details may change from time to time. A Chinese philosophy professor once stood up before his class with a large, empty jar. He leaned down to his right and picked up rocks and filled the jar to the top with rocks the size of tennis balls, and asked his students if the jar was full. He held it up for everyone to see and asked, "Tell me, is the jar now full?" The students murmured assent. The jar was now full. And then he turned and looked at the shelves to his right and frowned, and then to the left, and he picked up a glass jar with small pebbles. He then added small pebbles to the jar and gave the jar a bit of a shake so the pebbles could disperse themselves among the larger rocks. He continued to fill until there was no more room for pebbles. Then he asked again, "Is the jar full now?" The students agreed the jar was full. Without a sound, the professor then looked to the right, through all the shelves from top to bottom, and then to the left all the way from top to bottom. And finally he saw it at the bottom corner, deep down, a jar with sand. He poured sand into the jar to fill up any remaining empty space. This time a smile spread on his face. "Is the jar full now?" he asked. Giggles and smiles floated through the room. "Yes, we got it. Now the jar is completely full." He continued to smile as he looked up and down and turned around. He finally saw it and picked up a jar of water and started to pour water into the jar until it was full. "Tell me, is it now full?" A deep and profound silence spread through the room. The kind of silence where everyone starts to check around, to roll their eyes towards the others in the room, or even check if the ceiling is clean. As the professor started to search again, looking in all shelves and corners, he finally opened a door and turned back to the group with a glass of dry salt in his hand. He lifted the glass so everyone could see and maybe start to understand. As the professor took a fingerful of salt and let it dissolve into the water, the students focused on the salt that fell down into the water. It floated down and was dissolved almost immediately. Once again he turned to the group and asked, "Tell me, is the jar now full?" A courageous student stood up and said, "No." The professor said, "But it is now full." And then they laughed and he smiled and said, "What is the significance of this story? What does it mean?" They all answered different things. There were as many interpretations as there were students. The professor said, "Congratulations, you are all right. You are unique with your unique experiences, unlike everybody else, with your own abilities and resources. And since you are unique, you will find your own unique answer, your own unique answers. Your perspective is perfect just the way it is right now in this moment. I just wonder, are you curious to know my interpretation?" They all smiled and nodded, and as he continued, they were all listening in silence. Well, he said, my interpretation is this: whatever you do in life, make sure you get your rocks in first. This story has been told many times, and each time might be different since you are at different places. Sometimes it is all about what you put first in your life, or who. Who are the rocks, or what? Sometimes it's about the sand, and other times the water. Is it possible to separate them, or just leave them alone? And I could urge you to search deeper, and that might have worked. Though the only way we will know is if you don't make those changes fast. The subconscious might have more answers than you would ever know, and I know that it might take a long time to find all the answers, just the way a short time might seem like a long time, and a long time might seem like no time at all. As you let yourself float up towards wakeful awareness, I want to let you know that if you have consciously decided to continue to float into dreams and deep sleep, that is also okay, while other times you start to wake up because your subconscious will know the difference, and you may start to notice all those things that you just noticed: your shoulders, your feet, your neck, eyes, and your breathing as you come back to wakeful awareness, bringing yourself back, already ready to look around. And if you have decided to come back, you may notice your out-breath, and on the next one you will open your eyes and look around. You might even want to breathe faster, very fast and shallow, just for a few seconds until you automatically take a deep breath. And you might want to smile only when you want to. Before you continue on with your life, I want to let you know that you have now prepared your subconscious for a change, and tomorrow there are other journeys to take.